Please be seated. Good morning, everyone. I'm Andrew Hsu, President of the College of Charleston. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to the College of Charleston's spring commencement for the class of 2026. I want to thank you for joining us on this very special day. To our graduates, congratulations. You should be incredibly proud of yourselves. To the families, friends, and loved ones of our graduates, this is also your day. Together, you have supported these graduates in so many different ways. Graduates, I would like for you to please stand and thank your families, friends, and loved ones with a big round of applause. Graduates, please remain standing, and will everyone else please also stand as music major Colin Covington sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Colin. That was beautiful. Please be seated. I would like to take a moment to recognize those members of Board of Trustees that are with us today. Please stand as I read your name so that we may recognize you for your service and leadership to this great institution. Board of Trustees Chair Renee Romberger, Trustees Lauren Birch, Beth Burke, Darrell File, Andy Giannukas, Toya Pound, Taft Swarat, Nisa Williams, and Trustee Emerita Demetria Clemens. Thank you for your service. I would also like to recognize representatives from our Foundation Board and Alumni Association. Tricia Ori, class of 1996 and 1997 of the Foundation Board, and Brady Quirk Garvin, class of 2008, president of the Alumni Association. Thank you both for your leadership and service. Now I would like to take a moment to acknowledge all faculty and staff. Their commitment to academic excellence and student success empowers the next generation of scholars and leaders. Would all faculty and staff in the audience and on stage please stand and be recognized. Thank you all. Graduates of the class of 2026, you made it. Each person on this stage has overcome something to be right here, and I'm very proud of you for not giving up, for not giving in, and for giving it your all to reach your academic goal. Through your studies, you have proven yourself to be adaptable, flexible, and creative. And because of your exposure to different ideas, philosophies, and perspectives, you will be lifelong learners, always willing to grow and evolve. That is what the world needs now more than ever. As I reflect on this extraordinary class of College of Charleston graduates and what you have gone through to be right here today, I'm very proud of you. And I'm excited for you and for your future. You have a long and open road in front of you to make your life what you want it to be. I can't wait to see where your journeys take you and to celebrate all of your accomplishments as College of Charleston ambassadors and College of Charleston champions. Congratulations again, class of 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, for the conferring of the honorary degrees, I will now be joined by the chair of our Board of Trustees, Renee Romberger. Trustee Bethberg, would you please escort Amy and Mike Bennett to the lectern? We're proud to recognize a remarkable husband and wife whose generosity, leadership, and enduring love for the College of Charleston have left a lasting mark on this institution. Chair Renee Romberger will now read the formal presentation, citation, and conferral.
I hereby present Amy Bennett, a 1982 graduate of the College of Charleston, an accomplished outdoors woman, and a devoted advocate for connecting young people to the natural world. Her passion for the Low Country's waterways and landscapes reflects the spirit of this region, and her commitment to conservation, youth engagement, and community well-being has strengthened the fabric of Charleston. Amy Bennett, your dedication to conservation, education, and the well-being of future generations exemplifies the highest ideals of service and leadership. The College of Charleston is proud to confer upon you the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters. And now I hereby present Michael Roy Bennett, Charleston native, founder of Bennett Hospitality, and a visionary leader whose work has shaped the cultural and economic landscape of the Low Country. His lifelong commitment to honoring Charleston's history through thoughtful development and his dedication to community revitalization have left a lasting mark on our city and our region. Michael Roy Bennett, your entrepreneurial leadership, civic commitment, and enduring contributions to the Charleston community are worthy of the highest recognition. The College of Charleston is proud to confer upon you the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters.
By the authority of the state of South Carolina, granted to the Board of Trustees of the College of Charleston and committed to me, I declare Amy Bennett and Michael Bennett are now admitted to the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. Congratulations. Please join me in welcoming today's commencement speaker, Dr. Michael Bennett. Dr. Bennett, The lectern is yours.
Do all my friends have to call me Dr. President Chu? Good morning to all of you for being here today. What a special day. Good morning, and thank you, President Chu, for that kind introduction. My wife and I are deeply honored to receive honorary doctorate degrees from the College of Charleston. My wife actually graduated from here in 1982, and my son Jack, who's in the audience, graduated from here in 2016. I now can say honestly to my late mother, who lived to be 98, that I fulfilled the promise that I made to her 50 years ago, that somehow I would get my college degree. We had 6 children, and I was the only one who didn't graduate. And she kept saying, Mike, you're doing pretty good, but you ought to get that degree. And today, on this day, I can tell my mother, hold that degree and show you, Mom, I got the degree. I was just not on any kind of traditional timeline. I also want to thank the members of the Board of Trustees, members of the esteemed faculty, the family and friends present here today, and most importantly, the soon-to-be graduates of the College of Charleston. The class of 2026 will always be special to me because we got our degrees on the same day. Standing here is full circle for me. I was on this campus 50 years ago working. I was hammering nails. I had paused my education. Sounds better than dropping out. I paused it. And I was hammering nails on Glebe Street, renovating buildings for the College of Charleston. I never worried about blue-collar work. I kind of liked it. And I was trying to figure out what I might do with my future. To be honest, I didn't have a grand plan. What I did have was a very hard work ethic. I started my first business as I was working here 50 years ago, renting bicycles on the curb of Market Street to the tourists that came to see us. And the tourism business was just starting. We had 100,000 tourists who might have come visit us back then, and I was renting bicycles. Today we have 8 million tourists visiting us a day, and I'm not renting bicycles, but I'm in the hospitality business as I've been all my life. I've been a bellman, a doorman, and for the last 35, 40 years, I've been a hotel owner with our special hotel a block away at Hotel Bennett on Marion Square. So today I won't try to give you some kind of perfect graduation speech. I'm not sure what that would be anyway. But I'll just share 3 simple things that have helped me achieve the life that I've achieved, just like all of you here. But you graduates, with this education that you received, you're more set to go to work than you realize. So there's going to be 3 little things that I'm going to tell you. Work hard. Probably what your mom and dad have been telling you all your life. Work hard. Maybe even work harder than the guy next to you. You know, back when I was young, if I had to get at work at 8 o'clock, I'd show up at 7:30. And that lesson came from my father, who owned a junkyard and a truck repair shop. He would always tell me, Michael, you're working. Outwork him. You can outwork him. Outthink him and outwork him. Don't be ashamed that you're doing blue-collar work. Just work hard. And I took that seriously from my father. He would say, Michael, you're supposed to be there at 8 o'clock. You better get there at 7:30. I said, yes, sir. I kind of did what my father and mother told me to do. except Mom wanted me to stay in school. Stay a little later, do a little more, and don't argue with what you're owed. Prove to the company you work for what you're worth. And trust me, people will notice that. And hard work doesn't guarantee success every time, but it surely puts you in that game every single day. And over time, that adds up. And your mother and father have been telling you that all your life. Work hard. What's the next thing that I found out? I was 21 years old, and I had to borrow $5,000 to buy the bicycles and the mopeds that I rented. And I had $3,500. And I borrowed the money from the bank. And it's important when you borrow money from the bank to pay them back, right? They love to lend you the money, but they love even more getting it paid back. So you got to be honest with all people. And as I built my business, borrowing money, making real estate deals at a ridiculously young age, 21 years old, and building lifelong relationships that I still have today, even though I must tell you, most of those have retired, and I'm still working. But I learned very quickly, your word is everything. If people trust you, they'll do business with you again and again and again. And if they don't really trust you, they won't. It's pretty simple. Your reputation takes a lifetime to build, and you got to protect it. Protect it with everything you have. Always be straightforward. Do what you say you're going to do, even if it takes longer and harder than you expected. So I know your mom and dad taught you that. Be hard work hard, and be honest, right? Mom and dad teaches you that every day. My third one came a little later in my life, but it's perhaps the most important of all of them, and that's to be kind. And it sounds simple, might sound corny to you, but that is what I try to live my life around. And kindness may sound simple, but it's really powerful. It's how you treat people when nobody's looking, right? And you don't have to do anything, but you still do it. And being in the hospitality business, I'm in hotels every day. I always open the door for a guest, say good morning, show respect to them, and to all of the people who work there, the house cleaners, the bellman, the doorman. I'm kind and nice to all of them. And there's a big bronze plaque on the side of Hotel Bennett that says, be kind. And we surely run our business with that in mind. And in my business throughout my life, I have built the most beautiful buildings, I believe, built in Charleston. That's my opinion, but Mayor Riley agreed with it too. And people love beautiful buildings, but what they remember most is how they were treated inside those beautiful buildings. And I believe they're treated very kindly in the buildings that we own and operate. And kindness creates a certain feeling, and that feeling is what lasts. Now, here's the good news. That's about it. Work hard, be honest. Work hard, be honest, and be kind. You put all that together, and you've got a really, what you've learned at the college, it's a powerful weapon that you now have. And I would go forth thinking that way. You add your education and discipline and perspective that you gained here at the college, and you're more prepared than you realized. And one last thing, success doesn't look the same for everyone. Some people want to be the quarterback, and some people are okay being on the team. All of those players are necessary. So you decide where you ultimately want to be, and you'll commit the time, effort to be that person. You don't have to be the home run hitter. You can be a good fielder. You can be a good shortstop, a second base, wherever you play. You're on the team. And success in business and life requires being on the team. Find something meaningful in your life, build a life you're proud of, and treat people well along the way. So always be the best teammate that you can be. Do these things, and you'll have unlimited possibilities. So the class of 2026, your future is in front of you. Oh, I'm jealous of all of y'all to be that young, smart, handsome, and going to work with the knowledge y'all have. So just remember, please remember this. Work hard, be honest, and be kind, and you'll do just fine in life. So to the class of 2026, God bless you. I love all of y'all. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Dr. Bennett, for starting our morning off in that way. Good morning, everyone. I'm Alicia Cadill, the Executive Vice President for Student Affairs, and it's truly my honor to introduce one of the two recipients of our Presidential Award for Scholarship, Leadership, and Service, the highest honor a graduating undergraduate student can achieve at the College of Charleston. This award was established by former President Theodore Stern to recognize students who have demonstrated exceptional leadership and academic excellence. I am pleased to announce that David Bird, majoring in finance, is one of the recipients of the Presidential Award for Scholarship, Leadership, and Service this year. Congratulations, David. And David will now share with us his commencement remarks.
So before I get started, I think it's fitting that we give another round of applause to our mothers, who are the most important people in our lives. So Mom, happy Mother's Day. Early Mother's Day. I truly wouldn't be anything without my mom, and I suspect many of you feel the same way. A good chunk of us probably owe our mothers for saving us from more writing mistakes than we would like to admit. This speech was no different. She edited every draft. So if you like the speech, it's all her. And if you don't, I stopped listening past the 5th draft. But I digress. Let's get back on script. One of the most valuable things I learned here was a new perspective on failures, mistakes, and regrets. It's easy to push those difficult experiences aside and pretend they didn't happen or bury them somewhere out of sight. And I'll be honest, a misconception people have about me is that I must have experienced very few of those. The truth is, I've experienced failed relationships, I've been rejected seeking work and extracurricular appointments, and I don't always fit people's ideas of who I should be. And I routinely question decisions, large and small, because I tend to overthink, like we must all do. From my own experiences and looking forward, I believe the class of 2026 has plenty more failures, mistakes, and regrets coming our way. We're crossing the Cistern into a tough job market, ongoing wars, and deep political division. It's going to be hard. But when things go south, take accountability and own what's yours. I learned that these experiences are actually indicators that you're doing something right. They mean you're changing, adapting, and becoming better than you were yesterday. I recently came across a quote from a Brazilian novelist, Paulo Coelho. Maybe the journey isn't about becoming anything. Maybe it's about unbecoming everything that isn't really you. So, class of 2026, don't let any failure, mistake, or regret define you. See these difficult moments as proof that day by day, you're discovering your true self. With that outlook, you will always succeed, just as we are about to when we cross the Cistern today. So congratulations, class of 2026. Now I would like to welcome Brady Quirk-Garvin, who will speak on behalf of the Alumni Association members.
Good morning, everyone. It's truly an honor to be here today with you as you celebrate your graduation. On behalf of the more than 105,000 members of the Alumni Association, I extend a warm welcome to you, our newest members. You're joining a distinguished organization that was founded in 1888 to promote, protect, and serve the College of Charleston. As members of the Alumni Association, you'll be invited to return to campus each year for homecoming, Spring Alumni Weekend, a Charleston Affair, and other events that celebrate our love for this beloved institution. Whether you're staying here in town or moving far away from Charleston, we have many CFC regionally based activities and events across the United States and even in different cities across the globe to connect you with fellow alumni and celebrate our alma mater. And the best part of being in the Alumni Association is there are no financial dues for mom and dad to kick in on. We have no doubt that you'll continue to strengthen our legacy through your future endeavors. Now we'll celebrate a graduation tradition involving your CFC ring. Before graduating, students wear the ring with the seals facing inward, but today you'll turn the ring so that the seal faces out. This indicates that you are an alumnus of the College of Charleston and well prepared to go out into the world. So those that have rings, you may turn them now. Congratulations, graduates. We look forward to your continued involvement with the College of Charleston and seeing you at Alumni Association events very soon. Go Cougs!
Thank you, Brady. Indeed, we have so many distinguished alumni all around the world making a difference and making the world a better place. And many of them are with us here today. With all the alumni from previous years joining us today, whether you're in the audience or on stage, please stand and be recognized. We're very proud of you. Please be seated. We have already celebrated 2 degree presentations so far, and now we celebrate 13 more. Provost Austin will join me in presenting the Artium Baccalaureatus degrees. The AB degree requires advanced coursework in ancient Greek or Latin. This unique degree highlights the university's liberal arts focus, recognizing those graduates who take on challenging humanistic studies. The College of Charleston has awarded this degree for more than 2 centuries. That grand tradition continues today. Will the following candidates please come to center stage. Anastasia Budrovich, International Business. Madeline Renee Hunter, Secondary Education Cognate. Abigail Christine Lee, Religious Studies. Emma Alice Elizabeth Jensen, Archaeology. Aidan Howard Ruman, Classics. Patrick Connor Ruman, Classics. Ethan Jacob Cole, Classics. Linda Elizabeth Funkhauser, Classics. Grayson Rains Taylor, Classics. Charlotte Katerina Papatheoharis, Marketing. David Williams Bowen, Classics. Addison Holiday Ware, Classics. And Lauren Foster, Classics. I ask those on stage to remain seated. However, it is tradition that this audience stand when this degree is awarded. Would the audience in Cistern Yard please rise? Following our tradition, I will award the AB degrees in Latin. Curatoribus auctoritatem turiemptibus of universe in humanioribus litteris in humanioribus litteris preclari eruditos ad gradum artium bacclaritatus admissi. Congratulations.
Good morning. At today's ceremony, we have 4 students who have earned a perfect 4.0 grade point average. Please stand as I call your name. Samuel Hagan from Accounting. Adriana Taishira Jackson, Early Childhood Education. Abigail Christine Lee, Religious Studies. And Michael Ray Bogle, Spanish. Congratulations. In addition, there are 158 students participating in this weekend's commencement ceremonies who have completed the Honors College requirements. All 158 students are wearing medals in recognition of their academic accomplishments and deep engagement as leaders with our community. Honors College students, please stand and be recognized. Congratulations. You may be seated.
Now, joining us in awarding the bachelor's degrees will be Chair of the Board of Trustees, Renee Romberger, Executive Vice President of Academic Affairs, Provost Austin, and Executive Vice President of Student Affairs, Alicia Cadell. Professor Andrew Alwine from the Department of Classics will assist with the announcement of the names and majors of our graduates.
For the School of Business, joining us on stage will be Paul Schwager, Dean. For the bachelor's degrees in accounting, joining us on stage will be Robert Hogan, Department Chair. Jack Ford Bloomingdale. Sofia Giovanna Buonsanto. Hadley Emma Chandler, summa cum laude. Elise Marie DiBernardo. Michael John Donahue. Marina Catherine Dreyer. Jacob Daniel Easler. Casey Jacob Ellinger, cum laude, also meets the requirements for Jewish studies. Alexandra Marie Evans, summa cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Kate Mitchell Fernandez de Castro, magna cum laude. Isabella Antoinette Futem. Ashby Bliss Gacy, cum laude. Jackson Luke Gambrell, cum laude, also meets the requirements for political science. Benjamin J. Goldbach. Samuel Hagan, top honors. Caitlin Elizabeth Heckler, cum laude. Quazoria Monai Holmes. Anna Kathleen Horton. Noah Alexander Jacobs. Emily Ann Kelly, magna cum laude. Charlotte Beverly Hitchcock King. Gabrielle Elizabeth Krupa. Brooklyn Isabella Kyriakakis. Casey Shife Labont, cum laude. Nathan Luke Leader. Ryan Patrick Matheson, cum laude, also meets the requirements for finance. Aiden Fritz McRain, magna cum laude. Claire Elizabeth Nowikas. Barbara Otsinasova. Caitlin Ann Polacek, summa cum laude, also meets the requirements for finance. John David Polak. William Keith Pop, cum laude. Camden Elizabeth Prade, magna cum laude. Kylie Elise Rutland, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Kate Isabella Sasso, magna cum laude. Emma E. Scarf, magna cum laude. Xaviera Katate Schrader, summa cum laude. Cameron Charles Batchel Seifried. Ariel Finley Spack, magna cum laude. Reagan Caroline Spivey, cum laude. Karina Rose Yusuferi, magna cum laude. Margaret Ava Visser, magna cum laude. Peyton Nicole Waller. Charles William Wise Jr. Carly Jo Young, magna cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. For the bachelor's degrees in business administration, joining us on stage will be Henry Shia, Department Chair. Peter Ackerman. Simon John Adams. Alden Emerson Adkins. Sophia Noel Amadi Varji. Corinne Cassidy Aiken, cum laude. Natalie Renee Alberts. Aubrey Christina Alkazraji. Mary Grace Allen, cum laude. Fadi Mahmoud Al-Shamle. Yahir Jose Alvarez. Calliope Patricia Anderson. Pedro Andrade Castro. Cameron Sinclair Andrews, cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Sean Henry Appel, cum laude. John Franklin Archer IV, cum laude. Lauren May Austin. L. Jacqueline Bashinsky, cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Julia Kaylin Baker. Olivia Zola Barbudo. Davis McLean Bears. Robert Bennett Batson. Juliana Arden Boreas. Ava Elizabeth Bostick, cum laude. Annalise Ferreira Botch, cum laude. Jackson Scott Bowers. McKinley Shelton Broomfield. Skylar Marshall Brumbaugh. Jackson Bard Brutzman. Andrew James Livingston Buchanan, summa cum laude. Jade Corbin Birch, cum laude. George Brian Bushnack, magna cum laude. William Weston Bing. Peter J. Kaleo. Jacob Lamar Campbell. Paige Laura Carden. John Doyle Carter.
Olivia Costana.
Christopher Finch Amherst Vanderbilt Cecil. Abigail Elaine Cerullo. Joseph David Christie. Peyton Robert Sizek, magna cum laude. William Findley Collier. Julia Rebecca Collins. Brian Christopher Conley. Elizabeth Ann Connealy. Alexis Grace Connell. Chase Donovan Conway. Julia Marie Correnti. Andrew Douglas Cody. Peter Bartholomew Coughlin. Nija Davis. Isabella Michaela DePompo, magna cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Catherine Ann DeRusha. Emma Joy Damasio, cum laude. Farrell William Din. Kristen Greer Donnell. Mara Albertine Doherty. Emma Lynn Douglas, cum laude. Bailey Carson Edwards. Talia Louise Effeni. Noah Carlot Emch. Madeline Joy Falgren. Catherine Irene Filson. Gianna Rebecca Fiordalice. Joseph Warren Fordney III. Lily Catherine Frankel. Lucas A. Frohler. Katarina Grace Gibson also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Michael Bransky Gilden also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Carson Lee Goff. Christopher Charles Goldstein. Amy Gray. Louise Porter Gray. Samantha Elizabeth Greco. Kirsten Michelle Green. Tegan Grace Mary Kirsten Greer. Isabella Madeline Grimaldi, cum laude. Rachel Ashlyn Grimsley. Jared Anthony Holbrook, cum laude. Vivian Ladd Hall. Bennett James Hamblin. Chloe India Hanna. Leon Harder. Brianna Nicole Harvey. Ridgehausen Hayes, cum laude. Caroline Jane Hires. Aiden Paul Hilling. Benjamin Alexander Hoffmeister. Austin D. Hood, summa cum laude. Connor Brian Hughes. Daniel Stokes Huey, cum laude. Jake Ryan Hutchinson. Jordan Bain Hutto. Nolan Edward Isare. Alexander Vincent Eveson. Kylie O'Neill Jennings. Davis Lee Keck. Riley Elizabeth Kelleher. James Aiden Kennedy, magna cum laude. Ned Killefer. Taylor Ashton Knowles, cum laude. Isabella Reese Kohler. Satya Eloise Konikoff. Grace Rose Kramer, cum laude. Megan Grace Lack. Caleb Davis Lackey. Victoria Grace Lanterman. Cameron Noel Lee, cum laude. Reagan Elizabeth Lee. Garrett Thomas Lepore. Max L. Levinson. Nyasia Mayuri Lewis.
Hutch Lee.
Harris Michael Liddell. Harrison R. Linder. Camilla Marie Lincoln. Connor Thomas Lowry. Ryan Francis Lynch. Liam McNeil. Emmy Rose Maglione. Christine Ray Afable Manuel. Madison Sierra Marley. David Paul McCarthy. Riley Ann McCraw. Elliot Raven McDean. Clara Catherine Keller McDonald. Flora Michelle Meyer.
Isabella Leggio.
Jaden Olivia Miga, cum laude. Yuki Miyashita, summa cum laude. Gregory Elliott Modsel Jr. Ryan Patrick Moore. Gustav Anderson Murphy. Autumn Marcella Nails. Avery Francis Nasetta. Devin Newell. Isabel Rose Newsome. John Patrick O'Donnell III. Audrey Grace Euler. Gavin Curtis Parker. Gabriella Teresa Petty. Hayes Kennedy Peterson. Kendrick J. F. Petit. Brinkley Ponce Pivek. Susanna Elizabeth Parker. Nicholas Perry. Maya Quinn Porterfield. Rachel A. Puckett, magna cum laude. John Edward Radcliffe. Gavin Thomas Rahab. Connor John Remington. Meredith Caitlin Rieger. Sophie Elizabeth Rhine. Elizabeth Ann Rizzo, summa cum laude. Kate Marie Robertelli. Benjamin Tucker Roberts, cum laude. Noah Brandon Robinson. Alexis Lynn Robison. Christiana Lee Robold. Caitlin Emily Roche, cum laude. Harrison Pax Rogers, magna cum laude. Juan Diego Rojas Mora. Jack Weston Rollins. Ian Henry Rubin. Jason Ryan. Areli Salazar Perez, cum laude. Gage Stephen Schmidt. Ryder Patrick Schussler, cum laude. Gina Nicole Shallow, cum laude. McCrae Shaver, cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Emma Rose Shaw, cum laude. Patrick Brennan Simpkins, receiving a certificate in Business Administration. Carly Fitzgerald Sepp. Anne Meredith Sisk, magna cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Emily Skipper. Sarah Isabel Stiffen. Brandon Joseph Stewart. Carter Randolph Stokes. Philip Stolfa, cum laude. Maya Rose Sittner. Samuel James Taluto. James Michael Taylor, cum laude. Sarah Julia Thomas, cum laude. Robinson Clay Treywick. Sarah Christine Turbeville, cum laude. Cody Van Ness, cum laude.
Tyler Ray Van Putty, cum laude.
Duncan Ryan Vogley, cum laude. Ethan Charles Wahlberg. Olivia Grace Walter. James Lamar Ward III. Ian Bryce Waring. Eli Stratton Weiss, cum laude. Olivia Sophie Welsh. Sims Alexander Whalen. Christian Ethan Wheeler. Ariana Caitlin White. Aiden Winchester. Miles Alexander Wolf. Ava Michelle Wood, magna cum laude. Matheson Claire Wood. Riley Noel Woody. Emma Young. For the bachelor's degrees in commercial real estate finance, joining us on stage will be Mark Buono, academic director. Rebecca Ann Bolin. George Edwin Brannon IV. Jack Thomas Brown. Hugh William Browning. Owen Christopher Cahill. Grace Jennifer Kokoza. Cameron John Dawitzik. Kaylee Brianna Dell, cum laude. Giancarlo Sullivan Salvatore Ferracci. Andres Mauricio Fraga. Chase Thomas Goldsmith. Kathleen Isabel Green, cum laude. Catherine Nancy Hanley. Andriana Catherine Harding. Carson Grace Story Hacks, magna cum laude. Ashton Kent Holter. John Lloyd Hudson, cum laude. Samantha Marie Hilton, cum laude, also meets the requirements for finance. William Edward Johnson, cum laude. Courtney Marie Cassane, cum laude. Joshua Edward Miller, also meets the requirements for management. Anthony Christopher Leland, Jr. Robert Legree Leland. Matthew A. Langers.
Hayden Lombardi.
Alexander D. Mackey. Matthew Campbell McLaren. Dean Anthony Petruzella. Mallory Page Ridgway, cum laude. Isabella Marie Santos. Maxwell Garo Sarkisian.
Catherine Ann Chappelle, summa cum laude.
Owen Eric Smith, cum laude. Spencer George Stevens. Owen Matthew Tabaki. Michael Stephen Tavolacci. Harrison Reed Thompson, magna cum laude, also meets the requirements for finance. Amanda Nicole Torillo, cum laude. Alexander Dunham Urquhart. Virginia Glenn Wallace, cum laude. Giovanna M. Walseman. Gray Birdwell Wilson. Alexander Mather Wolf. For the bachelor's degrees in economics, joining us on stage will be Christopher Mothorpe, Department Chair. Avery Boone Alexander also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Chance David Asbranson, magna cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Robert Ruben Bayadyan, cum laude. Nicholas Vincent Bove, cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Christiana Burkowski, cum laude, also meets the requirements for finance. Elise Gabrielle Sopko Colson. Elena Christine Cuneen. Maris Flynn Farrow. Morgan Mackenzie Hayes also meets the requirements for business administration. Connor James Kelly, cum laude. Isabel Monicelli, cum laude. Liliana Gail Myers, magna cum laude. Abigail Julia Nuruddin. Sarah Virginia Oley.
Parka Hayden Palmer, cum laude, also meets requirements for history.
Hunter Russell Poe, summa cum laude, also meets the requirements for chemistry. Kennedy Jocelyn Pondexter. Luke Richard Regna. Tucker Vance Robbins. Jason Runk, cum laude. Emma Grace Shaw also meets the requirements for finance. John Michael David Stagliano, magna cum laude. John Gabriel Van Hoy. David Mueller Visser, cum laude, also meets the requirements for finance. For the bachelor's degrees in finance, joining us on stage will be Bob Holtz, professor. Thomas Blackwell Anderson. Lauren Rosarada also meets the requirements for marketing. James Lorick Atkinson. Gregory Thomas Attardi. Henrique Barreto de Oliveira. James Sutherland Barrett, cum laude. William Henry Bowman, cum laude, also meets the requirements for economics. Sophia Rachel Bohm, cum laude. Allison Nicole Behe, magna cum laude. Leaf Allen Bennett. Samuel Robert Bruce also meets the requirements for the Honors College. David Mackay Emmanuel Bird, summa cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Luke Christopher Carando. Gian Caraccio. Andy Christine Caruso, cum laude, also meets the requirements for marketing. Zeb William Davis. Lance Andre Delisle, cum laude. Anna Marie Sophia Grace Dodson, magna cum laude. Kyla Ann Driscoll. Margaret Bentley Drury. Patrick Henry Erickson. Emily Marcelina Esteban. Emma Brooke Falgren, summa cum laude. Jackson Townsend Falconer. Julia Elizabeth Felton, summa cum laude. Nadia Aliyah Fikri, magna cum laude. Guillermo Alfredo Fiorillo, cum laude. John Henry Foster. Carson Jesdal, magna cum laude. Natalie Elaine Glockler. Alina P. Gonzalez, summa cum laude, also meets the requirements for accounting. Sonia Danielle Green, cum laude. Adam Joseph Greenspan. Taylor D. Hall. Timothy Michael Leaping Frog Hall O'Sullivan. Henry Leo Hanley. Grace Elizabeth Heenan, cum laude. Luke Alexander Hoy. Nicholas Donato Hauk, magna cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. John William Hughes. Riley Jean Hydock. John Lawrence Iacofano V. Francesca Rose Siegel Ingargiola, cum laude. Tegan Olivia Jacket. Connor Matthew Young. Manato Kambayashi, cum laude. Haley Shannon Crasson, summa cum laude. Robert Vincent Kyle IV, cum laude. John Hunter Lang. Matthew Gary Leah. Paige Alicia Lubrano. Zane Sanders Lyon. Matthew Christopher Marcella. Noah Scott Marab. Paige Madison Marini. Natalie Catherine Markham. Noe M. Martinez Jr. Michael Edward Mastroianni also meets the requirements for accounting. Bern Anders Matthews. Thomas Henry McGough. Kathleen Elizabeth McKendry. Michael John Meehan. Hobie John Meekins, cum laude. Edward M. Mobley IV. Justin Christopher Moore. Sean Francis Murphy. Gabriel Orta Carrillo. Jack David Polk. Emily Grace Ranieri. Jessica Ann Rich, magna cum laude. Paul J. Rideout. Morgan Joe Robbins. Dylan John Roberts. Luca Jonathan Robbins. Brian Moises Perez Rodriguez, cum laude. Jake Rosa. Samuel Piper Rosenbaum. Samuel Charles Sachs. Nicola John Santucci, cum laude. Kylie Wynn Sarno. Charleston Lee Shem. Samantha Rose Schiffenhaus, cum laude, also meets the requirements for marketing. Amanda Marie Shaw, cum laude. Cody James Shearer. Kayla Sheridan, magna cum laude, also meets the requirements for economics.
Stephanie Shi Shinin Vascones.
Dane Thomas Schwartz. Amy Louise Smith. Jacob Dwayne Smith. Peter Jack Steele. Savannah Grace Sturkey, summa cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Francis Elliott Tedesco, cum laude. Luca Milo Tornam also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Carly Elena Torrens, summa cum laude. Olivia May Vanda Verf. Sarah Lynn Varallo. Mathieu André Christian Vinke. Maxwell Alden Vittorio, magna cum laude. Edward Huang Va, cum laude, also meets the requirements for economics. Ryan Vucenovic. Morgan Lauren Watson. Benjamin Patrick Wines, cum laude, also meets the requirements for accounting. Adrienne Elizabeth Wilger. Esdras Dixon Williams. Jason Arnold Woolgast. For the bachelor's degrees in hospitality and tourism management, joining us on stage will be Steve Litvin, professor. Shiloh Annika Beverly, magna cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Sophia Carlisle Bowman. Calvin Edward Bragg, summa cum laude. Maxwell Harrison Brand. Marjorie Alden Burke. Caitlin E. Campbell, summa cum laude. Isabella Bubbles Dever, cum laude. Claire Elizabeth Dexter. Alexandria Grace Foster, summa cum laude. Grace Marie Gracheski. Lily Grace Hanley, cum laude. Sophia Rose Hill. Naya Jacqueline Hodges, receiving a certificate in hospitality and tourism management. Sally Bowerman Hughes. Grace Ann Trinity Lanny. Abigail Marie Mummert, magna cum laude. Isabel Lauren Nasser, cum laude. Christina An Win. Harrison Edward Poretsky, receiving a certificate in hospitality and tourism management. Cora Ann Ray. Elena Marie Rizzo. Ashlyn Anna Ingrid Romani. McKenna Louise Ronquetto, magna cum laude, also meets the requirements for international business and the Honors College. Ryan Andrew Rosebrock, cum laude. Ty William Ryan. Jessica Lane Seitz. Kate Nicole Seltzer, cum laude. Benjamin Luke Schaffery. Patrick Russell Showers. Hunter McBee Smith. Caroline Grace Taylor. Michael A. Thomas. Caroline Ray Twite, magna cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Caitlin May Wiedock. Holly Elizabeth Worth, cum laude, also meets the requirements for commercial real estate finance. For the bachelor's degrees in international business, joining us on stage will be James Malm, director. Cody Lee Baker. John Cooper Baker. Cooper Alexander Beck, summa cum laude. Anthony Dominic Biangone, cum laude. Addie Louise Blankenship. Madison Marie Boone, magna cum laude. Courtney Rebecca Carpenter, cum laude. Ethan Christopher Carr. Kelly Elizabeth Carr. Maylee Ferrari Clifton, magna cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Octavie Marie-Pascale Collin-Desfrancs. Tanner Young Collins. Colin Michael Cronin, magna cum laude. Teresa Gianna Faustina Di Primio. Robert Kyrell Dixon, also meets the requirements for French and Francophone studies. Benjamin Dufour, cum laude, also meets the requirements for marketing. McGuire Emerson. Allie Lorraine Fiengo, cum laude. Cecilia Margaret Mary Fredericks, magna cum laude. Ella Ann Hagan, cum laude. Taylor Grace Hall. Aiden Jack Iaconis. Kennedy Claire Kunkel, summa cum laude. Emma Rose Hudson Lanzone. Lainey Jean McGaggy, cum laude. Joshua Alden Moore, cum laude.
Ilyas Nasiri also meets requirements for German studies.
Maria Eduarda Pelogia Pinto, magna cum laude. Alexander Petrosky. Isabella Colette Wethington. Sarah Hunter Rothschild. Elliot Julian Frederick Raison. Philip Arnarek. Eileen Rouge. Lucas Michael Ruddy, summa cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Jalen Camille Shelley, magna cum laude. Allie Taylor Shields, cum laude.
Louis Stepak.
Savannah Stratton. Walker Reiner Sturgis, cum laude, also meets the requirements for marketing and German studies. Joseph Mosteler Thompson.
Ella Brix Toller, summa cum laude.
Anna Sophia Tridico, cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Eric Santiago Velasco, cum laude. Anna Isabel Vengoechea, cum laude. Sasha Katerina Walensky, magna cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Emma Kate Willingham, cum laude. Adam Ray Wilson. For the bachelor's degrees in management, rejoining us on stage will be Henry Shia, department chair. Mark Antonio Andreotti. Charlotte Emerson Ballard. Savega Kelby Bednar. William H. Catlin III. Mackenzie Ray Duffy. Manuel Laguna Jr. Addison Gray Scully. Maeve Marie Toland, magna cum laude. For the bachelor's degrees in marketing, Ella James Alford. Catherine Virginia Austin. Josette Emily Barnes, also meets the requirements for management. Mia Ann Berry. Jordan Nicole Blackman. Mary Ashton Blanks, summa cum laude. Sophie Claire Boney. Celeste Nicole Bone, cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Amelia Jade Boylek. Bailey Lynn Brooks, magna cum laude. William Harrison Brown. Harrison William Browning. Sally Ann Butler, cum laude. Cameron Riley Cawthon, magna cum laude. Catherine Mary Conaway. Riley Elizabeth Conlin. Grace Marion Cook. Georgia Elaine Covarrubias. Valerie Ann Covington. Hope Welton Cox. Elizabeth Ann Curry. Madeline Marie Dennis. Sachi Depot. Catherine Kelly Dion. Skylar Ryan Duncan. Julianne Christine Elliott. Madeline Malloy Engel, cum laude. Caroline Elizabeth Esdorn. Sarah Berkeley Fail, cum laude. Matthew Alden Fergie. Makaya Danielle Ferguson. Isabella Fialho. Emma Grace Fitzgerald. Isabel Catherine Frazier, cum laude. Lillian Beatrice Frizel. Matthew James Gallego. Giselle Caterina Garcia, magna cum laude. Mia Christine Gates. Zachary Mason Gigantino. Morgan Michelle Jovine. Tatum Elizabeth Glenn. Devi Indrajitsin Gohil. Nikolai Rochelle Gonzaga. Thomas James Graves II. Taylor Noel Graybeal, cum laude. Lillian Catherine Grimm. Ella Josephine Grigelko. Elizabeth Lorraine Guerreri, cum laude. Lourdes Margaret Guaux. Sydney Hirsch. Amelia Goodwin Haynes, summa cum laude. Coral Leanne Holmes. Carl Duncan Halsey III. Sarah Elizabeth Hughes. Ashton P. Johnson. Alina Marie Ocklick, magna cum laude. Declan Joyce. Lainey L. Kaminsky. Tatum Alexandra Kenny, cum laude. Bella Ruth King. Isabella Gianni Knapp. Natalie Cornifel. Elizabeth Grace Cray, cum laude. Grace Amelia Cuny, cum laude. Allison Labar, cum laude. Anara Lamarque Lopez, cum laude, also meets the requirements for hospitality and tourism management. Jordan Lark, cum laude. Zachary Daniel Lazarczyk. Or Levi, cum laude, also meets the requirements for dance. Christopher Leah. Mallory Lee Loudon. Bridget Ellen Lovely, magna cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Shelby Ann Louder. Joseph John Marr. Morgan Lee Marcosi. Sophia Grace Marini. Christopher J. Marin. McKenna Christine Martin. Stephanie Morrow, cum laude, also meets the requirements for Spanish and the Honors College. Morgan Ann McCormick, magna cum laude. Lauren Avery McDonald. Emily Ray McDonough. Alessandra Violetta McDougall, magna cum laude, also meets the requirements for management. Lara Violet McDougall. Charlotte Holmes McGarry. Kirsten Ann McKenna, cum laude. Palmer Christopher McTague. Caitlin Elizabeth Malore. James Melvin Miles III. Kylie Ann Milton, magna cum laude. Emily Shea Mooney. Rebecca Mary Morrill. Kylie Mae Mullen. Hannah Rose Murphy. Logan Lucette Murphy. Jack Wyatt Neville. Delaney Rose Nixon.
Amy Maria Nunez Rosario.
Abby Lucia Oakley. Charlotte Katerina Papathia Harris, cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Artium Baccalaureatus degree. Elisa Penaloza, summa cum laude. Annie Isabel Perdue. Nicholas Walker Petty. Jolie Pinold. Peyton Elizabeth Probasco. Bailey Catherine Quinn also meets the requirements for finance. Jamie Regan. Eleanor Catherine Richard. Emma Catherine Riker. Brooke Evelyn Robertson. Lily Beck Robitzer, cum laude. Elizabeth Beatrice Rodrigues. Nicholas Frank Romano. Natalie Ray Rosen, cum laude. Gabriella Grace Russo. Sarah Juliana Russo. Mary Mullen Sandifer, magna cum laude. Zaidi Micah Schlesinger. Evie Francis Shaddy. Connor Lee Shannon. Jacob Michael Sylvia. Sally Evelyn Skinner. Lucy Marie Smith. Bailey Kate Steffen. Ava Ryan Sullivan. Madeline Grace Sullivan. Grayson C. Taylor. Lauren Ann Thiel. Corey Dean Tharp. Kelly Teague, cum laude. Mazzie Eleanor Thompson. Allie Grace Trainer. Sean Michael Trend. Emma Riley Truxess. Sora Turk. Sydney Reed Turner. Sora Elizabeth Valle. Kate Sophia Vandenheuvel. Zena Blair Van Winkle. Olivia Rose Wade. Charlotte Grace Walsh. Madeline Amelia Walters. Ella Elizabeth Ward. Sophie Lynn Watson, summa cum laude. Eleanor Ann West. Pearl Elizabeth Wan. Emma Celeste Yakam. Grace Isabel Young. For the bachelor's degrees in professional studies, joining us on stage will be Michelle Futrell, academic director. Elizabeth Church Barrow. Jonathan Miguel Cardona, cum laude. Taylor Shea Flowers. Shelby Melissa Jazowitz, cum laude. Kennedy Marie Johnson. Hadley Martell. Michael McCam Jr., cum laude. Herneed Riviere. For the bachelor's degrees in supply chain management, joining us on stage will be Chen Hui Cho, department chair.
George Flynn Bowie III.
Bryson Ryder Brown, magna cum laude. Senna Costa. Barrett Edward Cottrell. Frank James Gatto. Joseph Galen Griffin, magna cum laude. Griffin Doyle Hargett. Joseph Dennis Henry, cum laude. Anna Rose Massell. Musawir Sadiq. Nicholas P. Woods.
Aidan Conway, political science. Blake Miller, psychology.
For the School of Education, joining us on stage will be Fran Welch, Dean. For the bachelor's degrees in early childhood education, joining us on stage will be Tracy Hunter Doniger, department chair. Lauren Michael Benson, cum laude. Catherine Penland Bergeron. Lucille Catherine Bolduc, cum laude. Jordan Imani Clayton. Kaylee Brooke Evans, cum laude.
Fiona Hennessy Gavin.
Caroline Eliza Hayes. Jean Louise Hoke, cum laude. Jillian Therese Hummel Rebuck. Margaret Maeve Jacaruso, summa cum laude. Adriana Tashira Jackson, top honors. Catherine Isabel Kay. Alexis Michelle Legendry. Abigail Merritt, cum laude. Elena Darling Nichols. Reagan Sandstrom. Caroline Grace Seymour. Reagan Olivia Snavely. April Rose Swanson, magna cum laude. Taylor Brooke Tholen, magna cum laude. Ty Bailey Weiss, receiving a certificate in early childhood education. For the bachelor's degrees in elementary education, Melena Barrett. Margaret Marie Barton. Erica Sydney Caitlin Faith Berryman, summa cum laude. Caroline Grace Beyer. Colin Ferguson Cook. Taylor Crosby, cum laude. Rylan Elizabeth Cusick. Rachel Emily D. Corrali, magna cum laude. Riley Ann Dunlap. Tiffany Rose Ficken, cum laude. Hannah Elizabeth Godak. Megan Haug, cum laude. Morgan Rose Hines, summa cum laude. Corbin Alexandra Hinton, magna cum laude. Chloe Elizabeth Holt, magna cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Josie J. Jennings. Lily Johnson, magna cum laude. Amelia Marie Kitchens, summa cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Caroline Mackenzie Knapp, magna cum laude. Brandy Nicole Knight. Fiona Elizabeth Engler Lambrix. Callie Jalen Maroney, summa cum laude. Malia Michelle Mott, cum laude. Catherine May O'Neill, cum laude. Olivia Marie Payne, summa cum laude. Ava Jane Phillips, magna cum laude. Cheyenne Eden Nicole Ray, summa cum laude. Abigail Kenzer Riley, cum laude. Emmy Reeves Roden, magna cum laude. Molly Charlotte Rodman, magna cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Jalea Nicole Renee Summers. Molly Ann Westfall, magna cum laude. For the bachelor's degrees in foreign language education, Izzy Danielle Zigmont, summa cum laude, also meets the requirements for Spanish. For the bachelor's degrees in middle grades education, Khalil Tyree Barker El Amin. Emma Jean Hudspeth, cum laude. Wallace Hicks Johnson, cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Olivia Noel Phillips, summa cum laude. Savannah Naomi Ruthie Prescott. For the bachelor's degrees in secondary education cognate, Hudson Paul Clark, also meets the requirements for history. Savannah Victoria Ezel, also meets the requirements for English. Alyssa Ann Frangipani, also meets the requirements for English. Micah Ray Harrington, cum laude, also meets the requirements for English.
Madeline Renee Hunter also meets requirements for history and the Artium Baccalaureatus degree.
Madeline Elizabeth Liebert, magna cum laude, also meets the requirements for English. Blair Elizabeth McGowan, cum laude, also meets the requirements for mathematics. Anthony Giovanni Prisco, cum laude, also meets the requirements for history. Isabel Jade Quaddy, summa cum laude, also meets the requirements for English. Michael K. Rowling, also meets the requirements for history. Stephanie Cameron Sams, cum laude, also meets the requirements for history. Haley Sierra Saul also meets the requirements for English. For the bachelor's degrees in special education multi-categorical, Amanda Marie Allison. Josephine May Bates, summa cum laude. Kyle John Bowman, summa cum laude. Carly Elizabeth DiSabella, cum laude. Jessica Marie Donofrio. Brianna Suzanne Kirby, cum laude. Reese Marie Mack, summa cum laude. Mac McClellan, cum laude. Grace Lane McEldowney. Reagan Scott Peter. Catherine Fisher Spezzano. Kendall Grace Suggs. Brooke Olivia Tarr. Isabella Marie Welby. Elizabeth Claire York, magna cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. For the School of Languages, Cultures, and World Affairs, joining us on stage will be Amy Arias, Dean. For the bachelor's degrees in African American Studies, joining us on stage will be Anthony Green, Department Chair. Kyle Jerome Singleton also meets the requirements for marketing. Kira Chanel Wooden also meets the requirements for biology. For the bachelor's degrees in archaeology, joining us on stage will be Allison Sterrett Krause, Academic Director. Isla Adele Hodges, cum laude, also meets the requirements for anthropology. Emma Alice Elizabeth Jansen, cum laude, also meets the requirements for anthropology and the Artium Baccalaureatus degree. For the bachelor's degrees in classics, joining us on stage will be Samuel Flores, Department Chair.
David William Bowen, magna cum laude, also meets requirements for history. Anastasia Budrevich, cum laude, also meets requirements for international business and the Artium Baccalaureatus degree. Ethan Jacob Cole, magna cum laude, also meets requirements for the Artium Baccalaureatus degree. Lauren Leilani Foster, summa cum laude, also meets requirements for the Artium Baccalaureatus degree. Linda Elizabeth Funkhauser, cum laude, also meets requirements for religious studies and the Artium Baccalaureatus degree. Ethan Riley Jessen also meets requirements for the Artium Baccalaureatus degree. Dylan Garcia Lambert, magna cum laude, also meets requirements for German studies. Abigail Christine Lee also meets requirements for art history and religious studies and the Artium Baccalaureatus degree and top honors. Marlo Victor Dorian Longo also meets requirements for archaeology. And top honors. Sorry. Sawyer Amelia McInnes, cum laude, also meets requirement for history. Lucas B. Pavia, magna cum laude. Aiden Howard Ruman, cum laude, also meets requirements for computer science and the Artium Baccalaureatus degree. Patrick Connor Ruman, cum laude, also meets requirements for computer science and the Artium Baccalaureatus degree. Grayson Rains Taylor, summa cum laude, also meets requirement for the Artium Baccalaureatus degree. Addison Holiday Ware, summa cum laude, also meets requirements for the Artium Baccalaureatus degree.
For the bachelor's degrees in German Studies, joining us on stage will be Nancy Neno, Professor.
Mitchell Paul McHugh, summa cum laude.
Sarah Leilani Seymour also meets the requirements for psychology. For the bachelor's degrees in international studies, joining us on stage will be Blake Scott, Department Chair. Sophia Maria Muir. Jackson Tyler Bass, summa cum laude. Finnegan Patrick Charles. Charles Jackson Dietz. Lauren Deborah Furhat, magna cum laude, also meets the requirements for Spanish. Yarden Foreman Schwartz, cum laude. Noah Goldman. Caitlin Grace Hulbert, also meets the requirements for French and Francophone studies. Emma Goldie Hurwitz, cum laude. Zachary Dean Jepson. Kaylee Marie Laprise, summa cum laude. Josie Sophia Eliza Miller.
Olivia Britt.
Yukino Nishi. Catherine Grace Palomera. Alexis Emily Richter, summa cum laude, also meets the requirements for political science. Claudia Maria Skirbo. Emily Danielle Stacks, magna cum laude, also meets the requirements for Spanish. Daniela Suematsu Zorilia, cum laude. Anne Teresa Sylvester, summa cum laude, also meets the requirements for the Honors College. Philia Isabel Walker. Piper Annalise Walrad, summa cum laude, also meets the requirements for Environmental and Sustainability Studies and the Honors College. For the bachelor's degrees in Jewish Studies, joining us on stage will be Beth Meyer Bernstein, Interim Director. Joseph Max Arbieser. Charlotte Avery Galkin. Sydney Rose Verman. For the bachelor's degrees in Spanish, joining us on stage will be Susan Devine, Department Chair. Ella Berry also meets the requirements for psychology. Michael Ray Bogle, top honors, also meets the requirements for political science. Zoe Isabella Fish. Savannah Lee Hudson, magna cum laude. Alexandra Caroline Jenny. Natalie Elizabeth Morehouse.
Will the bachelor's degree candidates please rise? President Hsu, upon the successful completion of all degree requirements and with the recommendation of the faculty, I have the honor to present the bachelor's degree candidates of 2026.
By the authority of the state of South Carolina granted to the Board of Trustees of the College of Charleston and committed to me, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Professional Studies, as earned with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. Congratulations. Now you may toss your Please be seated. Members of the class of 2026, on behalf of the entire College of Charleston community, congratulations to you on this very special day. I send you forth into the world with best wishes as you begin the many adventures ahead. Audience members, please be seated for the recessional. Graduates, today you have completed an important part of your life's journey. May today open up many doors of opportunity to you in the future. Once again, congratulations, class of 2026.
Thank you.